everybody, welcome to It Was Tuesday with your host James Chen, aka Jay Chenzor. For those of you here on Twitch, technically it's a Wednesday. For many of you, it is a Thursday. But it doesn't matter, because for Bison, it's always a Tuesday, and he is the topic of relevance here today because he was released last night at midnight, usually East Coast time, but you know, as normal, we get the update, the servers go down for maintenance, but we all get to lab the character while in offline mode, and Bison is here, and oh boy, is he here. Because I mean, in Street Fighter 6, like when Akuma first came out, everyone's like, my god, this character is so strong, like he's kind of scary. Like he might be top tier. Like I can't believe they gave him all. Then Bison showed up, and man, oh man, if you thought Akuma was scary, Jesus, Bison is terrifying. He's terrifying, dude. Like some of the stuff that they gave him, I don't understand. Like I don't know how you do this, realistically speaking, but you know, it's interesting because, you know, so clearly they went ham on V-Trigger 2, where he used to command grab you, put the bomb on you, and then tried to blow you up with the bomb and do all these things. That's his mechanic now. It's the Psycho Mine. He plants a Psycho Mine on you by hitting you with a move, and then you explode, and then he gets to do cool stuff to it. But what he's doing essentially is he's a Johnny archetype now from Guilty Gear. So the original Johnny archetype, not Strive, but the original archetype, not Exerd. Actually, Bison is closer to Exerd now that I think about it than he is to the XX Johnny. But the idea of XX and Exerd Johnny was that they have to combo you once to put you in a state. So Bison plants the Psycho Mine on you, Johnny hits you with the coin, and when he hits you with the coin, his Mistfinder gets buffed. He gets level 1, a level 2, and if he can hit you with 2 coins, he gets a level 3 Mistfinder. So the idea of these characters is hit you once with a very weak combo, but I get my payout the next combo. So we have been seeing a lot of situations where Bison is literally doing 7,500 damage. Like people have found 8,000 damage combos. And the crazy thing to me is that there are people out there going, that's not that bad, James. Like, that's just what you expect from characters when they get to use all their resources and have their life low and do a crit. No, no, nobody else does this kind of damage. Nobody else does this kind of damage. It is absolutely insane. It is like ridiculous how easy it is to do these things. Actually, I might even be able to do this here. Ah, look at this. Yeah. Like, I mean, like, so here's the thing, right? So you get a combo with a Psycho Mine in here like this. Oops, I turned off that camera, which I shouldn't have. There you go. So you just get a Psycho Mine, and so you can see the Psycho Mine, once it's planted, the nice thing about it is that it automatically triggers when you hit them with moves that involve Psycho Power, right? But I can actually just put this on him, come down, and then do, oops, I did that too early. So watch this. So, whoops, wrong move. I'm still learning him, by the way, so I apologize here. Like, I just do this, right? That was literally 3 moves that I just did. I did the OD Devil's Reverse with the Psycho Mine planted, and then OD Psycho Crusher into level 3 Super. That was 7,000 damage. It was 7,000 damage, dude. Nobody does it. Zangief can't even get 7,000 damage in a reasonable way by himself. And so, like, the crazy thing about it is he has so much more potential from this, the amount of damage he's able to do. But the idea is maybe it's not broken because he has to sacrifice a lot of damage in the first combo to land a Psycho Mine, right? For every other character, they would be hitting you with 2 decent chunk damage combos, but Bison's hitting you with a really weak combo, and then he gets to cash out on the next one. So maybe he is trying to be more of a Johnny archetype. Now, obviously, one of the things you can do is that if you actually pop the Psycho Mine, you know, there's obviously ways to, like, if I'm not mistaken, if you actually pop the Psycho Mine, you can end combos with another Psycho Mine. I don't know the combo routes right now. He's less than a day old. But there are routes that you can replant the Psycho Mine on them, so they're threatened again. But again, maybe you're sacrificing a lot of damage to do that kind of thing. And so, you know, that is honestly the only reason that you can justify the high damage. But it's not even just the high damage. One of the scariest things about Bison right now is that, like, a lot of people are talking about how Bison's light scissor kick is like auto footsies. Like, this is like one of the best neutral moves in the game. It's -5, it's punishable, but if I do it at the right distance, like, nobody's punishing that. Nobody's punishing this. And this move is crazy, dude. Like, this move is wild. Like, yes, it's 13 frame startup. I wonder if you predict it, if you can actually DI it well. So let's see if I just did, like, yeah, so it's very DI-able. So if I'm just trying to, oh yeah, okay, it's very DI-able, because even when I try to scissor kick early, I still get hit. Interesting. Yeah, okay, so it's very DI-able at least. But, like, are you really gonna just sit there and try to predict scissor kicks and DI it all day? Probably not. But the crazy thing about this is that if you hit somebody with this thing and you get a punish counter, like, let's say Ryu tries to do something like this, like that, right? And you're just like, doo-doo-doo. He tries the medium kick and you punish counter that with the light scissor kick, which is not hard to do. I'm +6. I'm +6. Which combos into crouching strong. Like, which allows me then to do, whoops, oh my god, into OD scissor kick, which launches, etc., etc. Dude, like, light scissor kick is ridiculous, and apparently Goichi got to legend rank literally just by doing light scissor kick and 7,000 damage combos. Like, that's all he did, and apparently he got to legend rank and was killing everybody. Like, that in a 60 win streak, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so you can also do 3 lights. I saw Jago online mention this, but this is really strong too. Low short and a stand jab is really powerful because it reaches so far. Like, why is this thing? So, like, if you try to walk backwards away from him, you're always gonna just catch people, like, walking backwards. And then you're +2 and you're in throw range, so every time Bison actually hits you with a scissor kick, you're in mix-up. Like, you're in mix-up and you just have to deal with that now. Like, that sucks. I play on my Kwamba 2009 Bashi. So if you actually look here, I'm actually just playing on a Kwamba 2009 here. I did switch the buttons and the stick out because the original Kwamba 2009 is silent buttons and silent sticks, and I can't use those. So I had to switch that out. So, but yeah, I mean, dude, like, this character, is gonna be really, really strong, in my opinion. I think he's gonna be really strong. Last week when I went through his video and I was like, he seems really strong, but it's easy based off of frame data to really, like, make a character bad, even with great tools. I don't think that's the case here for Bison. However, do I think there's a potential that maybe people are overreacting? That maybe he actually isn't that good? But man, man, it's hard. It's hard to believe that right now. Let's just put it that way. Let me do something over here for you guys here. Because again, if I just go over here and look at some of the things that I've retweeted here from M. Bison, like some of the stuff he is doing is just absolutely like painful. By the way, shoutouts once again to the the team for making a lot of really interesting, fascinating things with this character. A lot of cool Easter eggs. I mean, look at this. Like, mute this over here. I mean, look at that, dude. So this is the one that I was talking about here. He just comes down hitting with this Psycho Crusher into the level. Now, granted, this is hard to land. This is hard to land. It has to be a very specific way to do it. But there it is. 3 moves into 7,570 damage, right? Like, that's absolutely crazy, right? Like, what are some of the other ones here? Let's see over here. Yeah, so here's Bison just, see, that's one combo into the Psycho Mine. Oh, you didn't block my Drive Rush overhead? Here comes my combo into Bouncy, into Psycho Mine, into level 3. Like, dude, he hit you with one jump in, you didn't block his overhead, and you died. And again, obviously, he has to be in CA, he has to have all of his level 3 and all of his drive gauge, so, you know, there is obviously, you know, like, it's hard, you can't just be like, oh, well, clearly, he's just gonna touch you and die all over the place. Like, it's not necessarily gonna be like that. Look at this, here's another combo that Greater Furman posted up here. He's banned at CEO right now. Yes, he's banned at CEO. But I will tell you right now, at the FlyQuest tournament, online tournament tomorrow, he is not going to be banned. So it'll be party time. But look at this, look at this. 8,050 damage. He just did 8,050 damage. Like, he got 8,050 damage, and it's terrifying. Look at this. Look at this thing. Dude, look at this health bar. Look at this health bar. Look at Luke's health bar, dude. That is ridiculous. And the thing is, his critical art doesn't do more damage than anybody else's critical art. It's just that the routes that he's been using, that Bison uses, the routes that Bison uses contain no lights, contain no drive rush cancels, and contain no crouching medium kicks, which are 3 of the most standard scaling, like damage scaling techniques in the game. You just don't do, he's just not scaling himself. And that's why he does so much damage. That's why DJ did a lot of damage before, because a lot of his combos didn't scale. That's why Luke did so much damage before, because a lot of his moves didn't scale. The reason why Luke was fixed was because they actually, you know, put scaling on his crouching medium punch and his back heavy kick, which is why I think Bison needs to have scaling on his scissor kick, because one of the super optimal ways for him to murder you, like, let me see if I can find Sajam's clip over here. Tarzangief posted this up. But yeah, the ability to start a combo with a punish counter scissor kick, like that, right? And you'll see here, the next hit is still 100% damage, right? So there's no scaling on this thing here. So the next move will be 80%, sure, but too late by then. Here we go. You know, Tuhalu, I never noticed that his name was Tarzangief. Like, I just pictured like the thing that you make asphalt with, and I didn't realize until just now hearing you respond to that. Yeah, Tarzangief. But yeah, that was 8,000 damage right there. That was like 7,930. Like, all you need to do is make it so that scissor kick has an initial scaling of 80%. And that'll actually make it a little bit more fair. But again, is it going to be more fair or is it less fair because Bison has to hit you with 2 combos? So the first combo is not going to do as much because he's got to plant, you know, because Johnny did the same thing in Guilty Gear. He deleted you when he hits you with the right combos after he hits you with a coin. Like in XX and in Exert, Johnny straight up erased you. Now, Johnny and Exert, he had a lot of routes to recoin, so you sacrificed a lot of damage for that reason. But in XX, it was a lot harder to recoin, so you just went for the max damage. And sometimes when Johnny would hit you, like, you're just like, where did all my life go? This is like not fair. But it was hard because Johnny couldn't, it was not as easy to hit you with a coin as it looked. But also Johnny was limited because he only had 8 coins around. And so Bison has infinite Psycho Mines, but he's got to plant it. But then the other thing too is if Johnny hit you with a coin, until he did another Mistfinder, you were at level 2 forever. In Street Fighter 6, obviously, if Bison hits you with a Psycho Mine, Bison hits you with a Psycho Mine over here, the Psycho Mine eventually detonates itself. So if you don't actually do anything fast enough, you know, it detonates itself. Also, Johnny, if Johnny gets hit, he doesn't lose the level. So that was a problem, right? But if you hit Bison, the bomb goes away, right? But speaking of like really cool Easter eggy things here, so Bison has a forward taunt that just does this. Let me turn the volume up for you guys here so you can actually hear him.
Fear me? Do you fear me?
And that's all he does. However, if you have a Psycho Mine on them, he does this.
3, 2, 1.
That is like literally one of the sickest things I've ever seen, dude. Like, that's so amazing. And I because I am who I am and I'm QA and I needed to know, I also did this too. Yes, if the mine is about to blow up and he gets started to that portion of the taunt, it resets the timer. It's actually really kind of hilarious. It's really funny. But then he also, is it the forward taunt or the back taunt?
A gnat like you will be buried here.
Okay, it's the back taunt. It's the back taunt. So he has this back taunt here where he sits there and he does this and he poses there and he just sits there and he just sits there and he just sits there and then he's like, he's basically saying, come at me, bro. He's basically saying, come at me, bro.
My power howl. Face me. Not yet.
And if you do, he punches you for no damage.
Impossible.
It's so funny, dude. Like, he just actually has a hit.
Power howl. Face me. Not yet.
It's so funny, dude. Like, again, just like the little things that they do in this game is just, it's so cool. And I appreciate it. You know, a lot of people are like, but you'll never actually see these things in a real game. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm just glad that they actually put this stuff in. But as a result right now, obviously a lot of people are scared of Bison. You know, obviously, like you see Fish Tacos tonight in the chat saying like, oh, Bison honestly seems okay to me. So yeah, it's really gonna be interesting to see how it all goes. Is it not gonna be as bad as we think because of the fact that he always has to put a mine on you to get that damage, and the damage is high because when they were testing Bison in practice, when he didn't do so much damage, having to lose that much damage from one knockdown was, you know, to get the mine on them, which wasn't even guaranteed damage, like, maybe it actually is kind of weak, you know? So again, he looks scary. A lot of characters only look really scary like this, but it'll be really interesting to see how he is in practice. Because a lot of these combos that you see that are doing like the 8,000 damage are literally the, yeah, you whiffed a DP and I murdered you. So if he plants a Psycho Mine on you, like, now obviously, you know, he's got sequences. If I'm not mistaken, let's take a look over here. He's got an overhead, and I think he's got a low, but what is the input for this? Let's see here. Unique attacks, down and heavy kick. Okay, so he's got a low that hits 15 frames later and an overhead that hits 21 frames later. So you can definitely at least fuzzy this. You have a 6-frame window to fuzzy this, but 6 frames is really short. Like, you have to be on point to be able to fuzzy this, right? But, you know, if he gets a mine on you like this and then he throws you, if I'm not mistaken, this is perfect timing to get the bombs to blow up like that. So you can see that right there. If you take the throw, he has the ability to put you in a mix-up into the bomb, right? So it's not, you know, take the throw is just not the only answer to this. You should take the throw, but, you know, Bison still has the ability to catch you with cool things like that, right? So, oh, I see, that's not a combo. Interesting. So, yeah. So you're just going into the overhead to catch him by surprise. But interesting enough, on block, there's a big enough gap there. Oh. Okay, see, there's no gap on the low. But what you can actually do then is learn to time your jab right outside of block stun. So in other words, if I set the dummy, the crouching light kick after block, after say 3 frames, right? This is not a mix-up, right? So if you learn this timing here, if I do this into the low, you'll block every time. If I do this into the high, you'll interrupt it. Okay. So, okay, so the window is small. The window is small. Okay, that's good to know. So there you go. If you can somehow delay your jab by 2 or 1 frame, every single time you can interrupt both of it. You can interrupt both of it. But then also don't forget that you just have drive parry. You just have drive parry. So, like, you know, if you really think he's gonna go for this mix-up, as soon as you actually see Bison chain into anything, just activate the drive parry, and he can't mix you up. What the hell? That makes the computer auto perfect parry? That's hilarious. Throw loop? I'm sure he has a throw loop. Yeah, he's gonna have a throw loop. What is he on dash here? He's +2 on dash, so that's guaranteed he has a throw loop already. So that's a guaranteed throw loop right there. So for sure he has a throw loop. 100% he has a throw loop. So there you go. So throw, dash, throw. He could probably even do a walking one. Oh yeah, he's got plenty of time to do a walking one. So yeah, he can actually get you that as well. So so I do think Bison is really strong right now, but we'll have to see how matches go. We'll have to see how these matches go. Yeah, no, absolutely, John the Automaton. You said call me a scrub, but I'm calling this broken. Like, I kind of agree with you, John the Automaton, but like, you know, as a fighting game veteran, you know, we know that a lot of times things that look broken sometimes don't end up that way. I've been pretty accurate so far with my assessment of characters in this game, especially Blanca, because you guys took forever to realize I was right about Blanca. I'm never going to let that go, by the way. I'm never going to let that go. But, you know, my initial assessment for Bison is that he's going to be really strong. If not by the Psycho Mine, just by light scissor kick alone. Like that move is so good. Like on top of everything, he's got that light scissor kick on top of everything. But again, like, we'll have to see how it goes. I think there is a chance that he might not be broken. Like, my professional opinion right now is that he seems really strong, but I need to see what the flow of a match feels like before I can just say, Bison is broken. Because again, once you plant the Psycho Mine on somebody, how easy is it for them to actually, how easy is it for them to defend, right? Because obviously Bison has a standard overhead, 22 frame startup. He's got a standard low here, so he can definitely do high-low mix-ups to try to open you up and stuff like that. He's got an OD, the OD head stomp can escape from throws, but it can't escape from hits, so it might actually be hard for him to escape situations and stuff. But, you know, there's definitely a lot of potential here for him to be obviously very strong, right? Like, there's no question that there's potential for him to be extremely strong. And he's got some crazy combo routes and stuff. But again, like, there is a part of me that's like, once we start learning how to defend against Bison, maybe Bison's ability to open you up isn't as good as we think. Maybe taking the throw twice is worth it. You know, like, honestly worth it. But then, you know, the nice thing about it is if you take the throws a lot, that will open you up to the point where you actually can do wake ups and stuff. So, you know, it's all going to be about that mind game again, right? Like, you're scared of Amnesia before it got nerfed, but there were still rounds where, like, Phenom or somebody threw, like, God, what was it? Mena RD, I think, threw a JP like 5 times in a row. And like the JP never activated Amnesia until the last time, and literally that was the time Mena RD didn't throw and he killed him. Like, when you have something that's that powerful and that's like the right option, that's what creates the fighting mind game, right? That's really what it is. When this option for Bison to throw you because you're just taking the throw becomes so reliable, that's when you blow him up the worst, right? That's when you start doing the backdash into punish or whatever like that, etc., etc. Yeah, like Leona earring bomb plan. Yes, yeah. I forgot she had that. That's right. I always remember she had the one where she could toss, but in the later ones, she had the ones where she could actually sticky bomb you. Shy Guy Beats says that some of those rewarding hits were very minus on block, if I remember correctly, and mine even on block looks pretty strong. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing too, right? So if we have this situation here where I plant this mine on you like this, and then I go for a throw, and then I go for, you know, one of these things like this. Will this work actually? I think this should work. Let's try. So if I did this and then I threw you and then I decided to do this like that. Oops, I still have him at parry. That's my bad. All right, now I got to do this again. So if I do something like this and throw you and then I do that, right? So I'm plus because of the bomb is there. So it's very easy to stay plus in that situation there. Obviously, if you're trying to, get it to go with a random Psycho Crusher or a random, Psycho Mine, backhand, back fist combo, whatever, you're going to die really badly. But, the nice thing about having the mine is that when the mine's there, you're always plus. So if I plant the mine on you and then I Psycho Crusher you, oops. What? Why did you not block after the first hit? Come on. So then if I Psycho Crusher you, I'm going to be +5, right? Like, it's a tough situation, and it is really strong. But again, you're triggering the Psycho Mine, so if I hit him again, I'm not going to be able to do all that damage, right? I can't do that damage that I wanted to do because I've already, triggered the Psycho Mine. So am I going to combo, if I hit him again in this situation, am I going to just combo into a Psycho Mine again? And that's the thing. So it's all about this move. This is the only way you can get the Psycho Mine on them. And it's very strong because it combos off of lights. So that's really good that it combos off of lights. So I can do jab, jab, Psycho Mine here. But look at that. That's 1,000 damage to set up my 7,000 damage. Whereas other characters could maybe do 3,000 damage to set up their 5,000 damage combo, in which that case, they're doing as much damage as Bison is in 2 combos, right? Like, if I'm actually just sitting here and doing this, and then I get my 7,000 damage combo, maybe he kind of deserves it, honestly. because you're really just, you know, using up that kind of thing. Like even if I do something like that, that's like 1600. Psycho Mine itself, look, only does 700 damage by itself. Like the heavy one does 900. So the heavy one doesn't combo into lights. Okay, so there's actually 3 different versions. Wow, the heavy one doesn't even combo from mediums. Wow, okay. It's got a startup of 22 frames, so it probably only combos off of heavies. Yeah, like that. Okay, yeah, so you can try to get a little bit more damage if you can manage to land heavies, but it's like not a ton of damage on those first ones, right? So John the Automaton, to plant those, it's really just about, can you actually find a hit? And if I hit this and I get 860 damage, but then the opponent blocks all my stuff properly, the last time I hit him, I did less than 1,000 damage to plant this bomb, and the bomb did nothing. So this is what I mean by, while he looks really scary, if everything goes right for him, he will delete you. But if everything goes wrong for him, like you're literally doing, like that doesn't even reach there, right? So if you do this, you're literally doing 1,000 damage at a time. You're literally doing 1,000 damage at a time and not getting much off of it. Like obviously if you could find a way to land a medium, then I could do at least that, or you know, if I do the heavy one, I can at least get 1,700 damage. Like that's decent, but you know, you're not just gonna walk around and hit people with back heavy kick willy-nilly all day, right? Like, and you know, maybe some of the best, oh my god, if you late cancel it, oh no, you can't even hit confirm it. You can't hit confirm it. If I do a late cancel, it's too slow. See, I can late cancel it, but it's too slow. Oh god. Okay, so you still can do that, but there is a chance you're off and you're minus 15 and you will die. So you can't even reliably hit confirm the heavy one into that. Oh my god, that's crazy. So that's 700. Is this one 800? Yeah, 800. Medium's 800. So yeah, like I said, like the problem with Twitter and the problem with training mode is that everything you're doing is going to be optimal. So everything that you see Bison's doing looks damn scary. Now, I'm sitting here telling you that he might not be as good as we all think he is. However, I wouldn't be surprised if the people who are scared of him are right. I wouldn't be surprised if Bison ended up being really strong. And honestly, one of the ways that he's going to be strong is maybe to not focus on the Psycho Mine. Maybe just play footsies. You know, maybe just play the footsies. Because look at this medium kick. This medium kick is godlike, dude. This medium kick is ridiculous. It's so good. His standing heavy punch reaches far. And the best thing about that, this is my plus on block, right? So if I do this, like, the opponent's got to respect me. Oh, Jesus. This crouching strong doesn't reach very far. Okay. Okay, crouching medium kick, there you go. So, you know, like there is a little bit of respect there, but this thing is 19 frames startup, etc., which is kind of interesting because I guess you could get the two mixed up. But I think his neutral is just going to be really strong. Standing medium kick, strong for M. Bison, always has been. Light scissor kick is going to be really strong. And again, this is going to be really, really useful because if you get a punish counter on this, if you get a punish counter on this, come on. That's +6, right? Yeah, that's +6. Why? Oh, wow. It's so much faster than I think. Like, if I get that punish counter, then for just under 2,000, I get the Psycho Mine planted on him. But again, maybe in their testing, it turns out without that ability right there, like, it's actually hard for Bison to open you up. You know? Maybe it actually is hard. So, who knows? I mean, we'll find out little by little. And of course, you know, Bison's going to seem really strong at first because a lot of people won't know how to fight him. And so he's going to be able to land a lot of optimal stuff. Like in today's day and age, and this is actually relevant to the next topic about labbing and fighting games. In today's day and age, the ability for people to lab and find optimal things is ridiculous. But learning how to defend against these things and the optimal strategy to fight against characters takes a lot longer. So early on in a character's release, they're always going to look a little bit stronger than they actually are, because a lot of people aren't going to know how a lot of things connect. Like, we still don't know all of Bison's frame kills. We don't know all of his meaty setups, etc., etc. Yeah, go for it, Mr. Potato. You can post a link in there. I can't promise that I'll look at the Bison setup, but again, like I said, this is going to be relevant once we actually get to labbing and fighting games over here. In case you guys are watching this here and want to know what this is all about, I'm going to teach you the philosophy of how to lab in fighting games, because I see a lot of people who say they just don't know what to do in training mode. They go to training mode and they don't know what to do. And I was like, I need to teach people how to lab, and I want to do it in a way that's generic enough that it's not Street Fighter 6 focused. I just want to give you the philosophy of how to lab in fighting games, basically, and what you're supposed to do there. Let's see here. What is this setup here? Oh, yeah, okay. So, if you guys are looking over here, this is pretty straightforward here to start, you know. Get the Psycho Mine on you like this, drive rush into overhead. However, I will say right now, right away, you can tell there is a big old, oops, you didn't see that at all. Sorry, let's do that for you guys again. So if I do this, you'll see here. And again, I don't know whose video this is. It looks like a guy named Kent Jr. But the one thing I will tell you is always have the frame meter on. Always have the frame meter on. Because if you look at that, I just replicated that sequence there. But the key part of this sequence here, okay, the key part of this sequence here is that. This right here is the key part of this sequence. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 frames. There is a 9 frame gap in here. There's a 9 frame gap in here. So this is to catch people off guard. This is actually kind of bleeding into the how to lab situation. So technically, this isn't particularly useful because it's so interruptible. However, if I can do this, there you go. Oh my God, he stops early, dang, okay. So I gotta, okay, perfect right there. That is a perfect situation right there. Oops. Okay, that's even better. So what's great about this now is that if you look, I can actually drive rush and there is no gap here. So the enemy cannot wake up and press a button at all. So what this means is that the enemy has to respect your drive rush low. And because they're respecting the drive rush low, that may open up the opportunity to drive rush overhead. So again, if you're doing the drive rush overhead and you're like, this is sick, and you don't notice there's a 9 frame gap in there, you're gonna die. Like, people are gonna wake up with buttons and destroy you. You cannot use drive rush overhead without conditioning opponents to the drive rush low. You have to establish to them that you can drive rush low and beat everything that they do to open up your ability to land the drive rush overhead. So that's part of the mind games there in general. So let's actually, I just want to take a look at the rest of this video over here. So he lands the overhead and gets, is this just a combo? It looks like there's more stuff after this. So yeah, so he just does a combo here. Oh my God. Is this, wait, what? So what's the setup here? Okay, so the setup is actually after this. Okay, so he does this into ground bounce. Ah, I see. This is the setup that he's doing here. This is the setup he's doing here because he can hit you from the front or hit you from behind. This is a really powerful situation here because he hits you, and watch, he does this, hits you from the front because you back rolled. He does the reset because he saved the state. here, and now he actually crosses you up, and he hits you from the other side, and he does this over here, hits you like this. Oh, wow, okay, so there is a danger that he misses here. Oh, Jesus, that was weird looking. That was weird looking. Okay, so yeah, this is important. So the mix-up wasn't the start of this. The mix-up was all this stuff over here. And yeah, now he's just showing off how he can murder you, basically. Overhead, bombs, etc., etc. So very, very good. So that's a nice mix-up. Definitely a nice mix-up. If that means if you ever see Bison go up in the air, hold drive parry. Because remember, drive parry blocks both directions. So while it is a good mix-up, drive parry can actually block both directions, and Bison is unable. Actually, what would happen if you did something like this? Like if I actually did something like, let's say, I mean, what did he do? He did the big explosion into the thingamajig. So he did this here like this, and then he did Psycho Crusher, big explosion. So yeah, so I'll save the state here like this, and then he did the ground bounce. Whoops, what the hell? Into I think he just did the head stomp after that, right? Or did he actually do does he actually do, okay, go back to the video here really quick to see what the setup was here. So he hits him with overhead, Psycho Crusher, explodey explodey. I know you guys can't see this. Oh, drive rush into it. Okay, so he drive rushes into that. So in other words, he does, okay. Like that into ground bouncy, and then into the mix-up. Right, okay, so he does that into the mix-up right there. I'm just wondering if we had a situation here where we set Ryu to wake up drive parry like this. Sorry, that thing is still going over there. If we actually did this, yeah, you can do that. So that's what makes it a real mix-up right there. That's what makes it a real mix-up, is that situation there. Whoops. Is that, right? So that's what makes it. And actually, he was doing the regular head stomp now that I think about it. Whoops. Yeah, so if you do nothing, you can blow up the drive parry. So now it's a real mix-up. So now you can turn the ability to drive parry into something that you can blow up. Because if you just do nothing and they drive parry on reaction to you going up on the Psycho Rise, then you can actually throw them and do a bunch of damage. And again, super relevant to labbing this section over here. So, I'll explain that once we get to that situation over here. But I hope you guys kind of saw the process of what I was just doing right there. Because like I said, that's all this section is going to be about over here. But Bison looks really strong. Bison looks really strong. No question. No question. Clearly, he doesn't look like he's going to be weak. Like when Aki first dropped, we're all kind of like, and I think the devs were like, yeah, we overdid it on being scared about her. Let's give her a bunch of stuff back. And now Aki is like, oh my God. So now Aki is scary, right? Bison is coming out the gate looking very scary. He might not be as strong as people think because of the Johnny factor of where he has to hit you with a setup combo. But, for him, like I said, with Johnny, it does nerf you a little bit if you never use Mistfinder again, but you can basically save your Mistfinder until you get the hit. Bison, if you land the Psycho Mine, if you don't get the payoff for the Psycho Mine right there and then, you get nothing. And so there is a chance that Bison might not be as strong as people think. We're gonna have to see how the flow of a match goes, how easy it really is for Bison to open you up and land a Psycho Mine. And then once he gets that, how easy is it for him to open you up with the Psycho Mine? Because again, if you take the throw, you're almost guaranteed not to take 7,000 damage. Like, sure, he can throw you twice in the corner over here. And actually, let me check something really quick here. Like, obviously, the Psycho Mine can't blow up in the middle of a throw. Because if it could, oh my god, that would be a problem. So it starts to light up here. Oh yeah, look at that. It just blows up and does nothing. Holy crap. Okay, that's terrible. Whoops. Yeah, I think I timed that right too. And I don't even think that'll work. I mean, Bison, like I said, the way that Bison can play neutral with that light scissor kick, like a person like Punk is just gonna pick him up and it's just gonna be like scissor kick, medium kick, scissor kick, medium kick, right? Like when he plays Cammy, he doesn't even use Hooligan or anything like that. Like he has that ability to just kill you with like 4 moves that he determines is very, 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 very strong. So again, Punk winning TNS with Bison, not necessarily a guarantee that, you know, this character is broken. If you remember, like back in Grand Blue days, I think it was Diaphone would basically take the character of the week. Tempest would take the new DLC and like win weeklies all the time with those characters. You know, some of these players are just really, really freaking good, okay? Really freaking good. However, maybe that's the right answer. Maybe Bison just doesn't pay attention to the Psycho Mine. Maybe the Psycho Mine is actually not as like important to Bison as we think. Maybe it really is just about footsies. Who knows, right? So, and again, a lot of, like I said, it's easy to optimize characters before we learn how to fight them. So Punk will also be able to know all of his frame kills and do all of his things and be really annoying with the characters, and nobody else knows what the situation is. I mean, some people might not even know what his frame data is at this point, you know? So there is a lot of give and take to week 1 results with characters like that, especially in the hands of someone like Punk, who, you know, in the Street Fighter 5 days said he mained the cast. Yeah, exactly. You haven't used the Psycho Mine all that often in your matches. Yeah, like I said, it might not actually be pertinent to his victory, honestly. So we'll see. Yeah, it's not even day 1. It's like, well, it is day 1. Like, we haven't even gotten to day 2 yet. Well, I guess we have, because he came out at around 9 p.m., so we actually got to play with him a little bit and stuff, so. Let's see. If you know about the empty jump on Bison's 50-50, could you parry on reaction to his stomp? That is a great question, Fiery Bubble. If I did this, yeah, I mean, there looks like there's enough of a startup. And again, if you're not sure, set Bison to the dummy, record him doing all the options, and see if you can humanly react to it. See if you can humanly react to it. The nice thing about this, I mean, how low can I get before I actually do the stomp? I can actually get pretty low. Whoa, he just snaps to the ground. That's crazy. Whoa. Yeah. So the nice thing about this here, the nice thing about that is if you do predict he does the low and you don't actually go into the parry, you can kind of murder him for it, right? So that's kind of nice. So yeah, no, clearly light scissor kick is the most powerful thing he has. Nobody has to lab him, test him, whatever, take him to tournaments and whatever. Like, you look at the character, you play the character, light scissor kick is the most powerful thing that he has. Like, I don't think that will ever change. Like, that move is clearly super good. Super good. Holy crap. My goodness. So yeah. But that's Bison so far. It's day 1. It's barely into day 2. So we'll see how he goes. He will not be legal at CEO this weekend, so we will not be seeing how he does there. The scissors, depending on the range, Flashy Flash, it is safe on block. So at point blank range, it's -5. At point blank range, nobody's 4 frames will be able to reach But a lot of characters like Ryu have a standing light kick, which will punish. But if you're Bison and you're ever doing scissor kick that close, you're foolish, right? Like, this is just really strong. I mean, look at this. -5 at that range? Nobody's punishing that. Like, literally nobody's punishing that. So that's really good. Like, there's no way anyone's gonna punish that. And again, if I whiff punish you when you do this, I get a low strong after this, right? I actually get a low strong after this because that's 6 frames. So even if I hit you at the tip of the range here, I still get that combo. Which, oh, okay, not at every range. That's good to know. But that leads to a Psycho Mind, right? So light scissor kick is clearly really strong. Oh, with perfect parry you'll be able to punish it easily, right? So perfect parry just lets you punish everything because he's just going to be stuck in recovery. You could walk up to him and murder him. So you'll never have to wonder if you could punish something with it. If you perfect parry it, you can punish it, basically, is the best way to look at it, is the best way to think about it. So yeah, that's going to be his best tool for sure. Light scissor kick. You could realistically, I can tell you right now, you can realistically, almost guaranteed, like, get to diamond ranked with Bison on standing medium kick, scissor kick, and maybe throw alone. Like, if you just limited yourself to those 3 things, if you're good enough at fighting games, you can probably get to diamond. Maybe even master with just those 3 moves alone. That's how strong I think the light scissor kick is. Oh, if you perfect parry the first hit, can you punish it? You could probably punch him out of the air. Let's actually see here. It's actually a really interesting point here. So let's test this out really quick. Okay, so if I set the dummy to block all, but the block type is perfect parry, like so. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Oh, it might be a situation where, so when you perfect parry stuff, sometimes if the frame data is just right, it eats the second hit of a move. Like, there are certain moves, like Jamie's 3-hit stand fierce, you only need to perfect parry 2 of them. See? If you perfect parry the first hit, like, and he's -28, so yes, you can drive impact him. You can definitely drive impact him. Because that's 26 frames, and that recovery was -28, so there's basically nothing he can do in that situation. So if you perfect parry the first hit of the scissor kick, you really don't need to worry about the second hit at all, interestingly enough. Now you have to make sure that you're perfect parrying the first hit, because if you perfect parry the second hit, he will be able to recover in time to block the drive impact, but not everything else that you can murder him with. So, because just throw out fierces and watch him die. It's fine. So there you go. Anyways, that's enough for this. Let's get on to the labbing stuff over here, because that's really important, and I think a lot of people need to understand how to do labbing in fighting games. What's up, OG Happy Dude? Hello. So thank you guys for tuning in for my first day 1 impressions of M. Bison. You know, yeah, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good, and it might have nothing to do with the Psycho Mind. Like, honestly, that just might be the situation. But obviously, you know, Bison, he's going to want to do some damage in tournaments and stuff like that, because, you know, that's what he does. And the days that, you know, he destroys you and blows you up all over the place, you know, is the most important day of his life. But for all of us here right now, well, actually, no, it's going to be the most important day of our lives, getting beat up by M. Bison. But for Bison, it was Wednesday.